Hi friends, so this video is specifically for anyone who has never been on a Joe Dispenza retreat that wants a little more information about what to prepare for, what to bring, etc. Basically, I'm just sort of making a video that I wish I had to watch going into it because I think there's, forums online. You probably go to Reddit. I didn't look at Reddit, but I searched the internet and I looked at YouTube and I looked at TikTok, and there was a really cool girl on TikTok that had a few cool videos, but it wasn't anything that was like what I'm about to share with you that I saw. So hopefully this helps. Basically, when you are going to this retreat, as I said in my other video, it is important to go into it with like more of an unknown and being open to the unknown and not planning and really going with the flow. That's going to be really important, in my opinion, for your experience. However, there are things that I wish were said. And I think that they've planned this so well and it's so thought out that maybe there's a reason. And I hope I'm not ruining that reason for them by giving this information out. But again, given that I've had the experience, I just figured this would be okay to say, and it's good info for people to know, because I believe that if you go into it with this, you will have a better experience. All right, so the one I went to this last summer was the Denver retreat. I'm going to the advanced follow-up again shortly. And I'm going to talk about in this video what you need to know as far as like the prep and the packing. So I did not know that when you go to this, you will be lying on the floor with tons of people around you. And first of all, if you're a germaphobe, you better get over yourself real quick. I had a very hard time with that. And I was like, this is about change. This is about growth. Like, yeah, there's germs on the floor and I'm preferring to lie on a towel and all the things, but it is what it is. And you better get friendly with your neighbors because you might go with somebody you know. By the way, I suggest you don't go with anybody that you know. Hot take, personal take. I think, again, part of the unknown and part of shifting into a new person and all the things you can get out of this for your healing journey, it's better not to have a crutch with you, my opinion. I think that if you go a few times and you want to eventually have the experience with someone else, it's different. But in my humble opinion, I think it's better to go on your own, unless you're going for healing and you want the support of someone from your family with you because you might have like a certain condition or something like that. Anyway, I digress. This is about the prep list. So I would highly recommend, because you're going to be on the floor, this is the most, like if I could only tell you one thing to do, this is the thing. You want to bring a yoga mat, preferably one that is not super paper thin, because you are lying on a hard floor for periods of time, numerous times. So that is the number one thing. Sun's coming out here. That is the number one thing that I suggest that you bring. You also want a blanket. It gets very, very cold in the room. And again, I've only been to the one I've been to, so I don't know if other ones are in other locations that aren't the same, but I have heard from people who went to multiple that it was cold every time you go. So bring a blanket, bring warm clothes, bring layers, because you might go through temperature changes. So do that. They recommend, and this is something they do tell you to prep, is to bring an eye mask, or you could buy one of his eye masks. It makes a big difference, especially if you're a newbie at the process and at the process of meditating. It really does help shut down, the world when you're trying to go there. Some people bring pillows. There's not, you have to carry everything with you. You don't want to bring a ton of stuff. It kind of makes it unpleasant to carry all of it around, and you're coming from either a different hotel or you're coming from your hotel room from across the way. And, so you have to think about like not transporting too much stuff. It's helpful to have a refillable water bottle. That was really great to have. And you might want to bring a journal and a pen, because he teaches some really amazing, profound concepts you might want to remember. I really enjoyed just being there and, and just taking in. I stopped taking notes after day one because I just wanted to soak in what he was telling me and just feel it and be present and in the moment. That was right for me. And then I would sometimes take a few notes depending on the situation. But then what I would do is video journal afterwards. And I really like that. And I can't wait to watch that back and just see what I was saying then and how I've changed over the few months since I'd gone. Okay, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else on this list. Really, I could have just made a 30-second video and been like, if you're going to a Joe Dispenza retreat, bring a yoga mat. You're going to want one. But hey, here I go in my proper Mona fashion of going on tangents and rambling. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to make one more video about something to expect. And as always, I love to say, I hope this helps.